Okay, I'm gonna stop like talking about. There's nothing else to talk about. It's just that you prompted me to like talk more about it. But the thing is, like, I don't really know what else to say other than like when I heard the first time I heard that what I'm saying in this video is, I mean, I said that's so. It's this. I know, like, no, it's something no one like mentions or talks about because I'm sure there's an answer there. I mean, I'm sure I'm sure there's some kind of reckless irresponsibility on the part of of the gun corporations because there would have to be. I mean, it can't be that no one in their right mind thinks that by doing more like background checks and stuff that would is going to explain anything. But I mean they just or that stop anything or that level of gun violence. But no one does like sort of like look into like what kind. See, they're really interested in the reckless responsibility, like the reckless irresponsibility of our corporations, but like no one does like sort of like talk about like just what level of like recklessness are the gun corporations operating with, because they do. Like, I mean when they know they're feeling. I mean, I'm saying, I mean, there's got to be some kind of recklessness with regard to their supplying of guns into our country. I mean, there just would have to be. They certainly operate globally. I mean, in other words, like they do a bunch of things, but I mean, ones that are like domestic corporations that aren't also in the. See, a lot of them are. I know, like also like there's ones that are like in the sort of like in the like they sort of like market these the military, and then there's ones that are like probably like sending the guns that go to like places where there's like I mean, but I mean, I'm saying like the gun corporations that like operate domestically, but they also have like overseas markets and like Britain and stuff. I mean, there must be like a sort of like. It's just that it's never spoken of. I mean, there must be some kind of reckless irresponsibility at that level. I mean, do you know what I mean? I mean, that's the thing. Like, it's a certain level of the thing. I mean, if you want to focus on like gun control at like the local retailers and stuff, that they don't do background checks or they don't. I mean, but that wouldn't account for the problem in the society itself. And of course, the social scientists are all busy finding like I don't know about different like social like phenomenon and whatnot. I mean, that's not my like area that I talk about, but I'm saying there has to be something going on with, or just something out of the ordinary taking place with the gun corporations, because I'm saying supply creates demand. So, there has to be something to be looked into there that would be alarming, because it probably is like there's some kind of reckless irresponsibility at that level. Like, people like me are interested in knowing what goes on at that level of the issue. Let's put it that way. I just don't think that that we don't do enough background checks, or that we have like a sort of or look at like the cultural. I mean, I don't know why that's not a topic, and it's annoying to me, because I'm saying like I don't know why it's annoying to me, but it's annoying that like no one it just seems like something that should be looked into. That's all I'm saying. Like to look into, like when you're looking into other things corporations are doing, like what does go on with like I mean what goes on? What goes on? And just is all I'm asking. I mean I don't know much. See, I don't know. Look, all I know is that when something is being flooded into a market, it's being flooded into a market. I mean, it means someone's flooding it in. The same with drugs and stuff. Like, I mean, it's being flooded in. Like, it's not like the other way around. I mean, if people like there must be something like the gun that could be looked into about gun corporations, and the fact that it's the one type of corporation that's never painted as a bad guy is odd to your friend. But I don't have anything else to say other than that. I got the 2 number thing on the video, which can mean stupid, or it can also mean cooperative or something. But I mean, that's the only thing I have to add to the sort of gun violence issue, is this thing I heard. But it's weird. What was weird to me is that people, that's like who they think's to blame. Like, I mean, okay, what impressed me, okay, was the guys who would say to me, like, the people I was working at Commanders with this stuff, like, when they would like the way they were talking about the gun corporations as like show out that should have, like, they like the came around in the 90s, like the gun corporations started, like, flooding guns in, like that. The fact that people who are uneducated, like, made that comment all the time, was interesting to a person who's, like, economically literate. Like, oh, that's so weird that like, weird, but I mean, right, I mean you never hear, like, a sort of, like, academic type person talk about that. It's not in any of the, like, sort of documentaries about corporations, but it's something and I'm not, like, a sort of liberal academic, so I don't worry about such things, but, like, right, I mean, it's the kind of thing I would think of, and then apparently, I mean, it's the kind of way I would perceive, like, right, someone's flooding something into a market, like, that's, like, if you, from my background, like, that's how you're looking at things, like, I don't know, and, like, that's why I want to study political economy and, like, development studies and stuff, like, I like looking at things in that kind of, like, macro, whatever you want to call it, way. It was weird to me that, like, people, like, who just, like, don't have any education and shit were blaming, like, gun corporations for flooding guns into their area, like, in that way. That's all but I have nothing else to say about it. But the prompt was, like, that I got, I mean, I don't know. I'll calm down. But it's just annoying feeling like I got prompted and then, like, geez, like, do I have any more to say? Like, no, not really. But see, that's another way people like me who, like, I don't think I'm stupid, but people think people like me are stupid. And the reason is, like, because sometimes it's one thing like that, like, means, like, oh, that's so weird. Like, see, okay, this is why I can't talk to people who are, like, coming out of, like, who are, like, whatever, passing for, like, an academic or something. They're always like, so that's what they say to me about things like that. I'm like, isn't that weird? Like, the guys at the restaurant, like, they all say, like, yeah, like, they sort of blame, like, the gun corporations flooded guns into their areas. Like, this is odd. Like, what's odd about that, Steve? Like, well, I mean, no, I just never thought of it like that before. I mean, this is the kind of thing I say that people think is stupid, but that's the only kinds of things I have to say, or, like, or thing about something. I mean, I just know it was a big deal to me to notice that. But I don't know who runs our thing. They'd be like, yeah, so what? Like, that's what people say to me about a lot of things, but I don't know. Like, it just seems like it should be something people talk about or is talked about. I don't know. I don't want to do this anymore. We've been doing this all day. I was trying to make our healthcare videos, and then you prompted me in this, like, big way, and then you prompted me that was correct, and then I got prompted that, like, I should say something more. But I'm working off your, like, signals and prompts and numbers, and I'm getting a little hysterical. But I mean, that's all I know.